Good day, grade sixes. I hope you're doing well today and that you had a great weekend. So today in our lesson, or in the slides that we have for the lesson today, we have the listening activity to begin. I hope that you can get a chance to try to figure out what type of genre that music is. And if you can't quite figure it out, or you want to look up what kind it is, look up what genre Sum 41 is. That's the name of the band. I have really enjoyed that song. It's a fun one. And then at the very end of today, there is a body percussion video that you can clap along with as well. So today I'm doing a bit of a continuation off of our vocal group listening activity from last week. Now, looking at the Google form that I created for you guys to try to identify the different vocal groups just through listening. Some questions you guys did better on, and some there was a bit more of a struggle. And so in the next slide, I have 4 of the main groups that kind of caused some issues. The biggest one I found was between just saying it was a female chorus when it might not have been. So the big thing that you have to do when you're identifying different kind of choruses is first to see if it's a duet, a trio, or a quartet. Try to see how many different voices you hear. So you have to listen closely, and sometimes you'll hear 2, sometimes you'll hear 3. It's nice when it's a mixed quartet or a mixed trio. When it's less than that, when it's just like if it's a quartet of all women, or a quartet of all men, or a trio of all women or all men, it gets a little bit harder. But the first thing you want to do is try to see how many voices you can hear. So if you look at the next example, listen to the quartet, listen to the trio, then listen to the chorus, and try to hear the difference between how many voices you can hear. Some songs where they come in individually, that helps a bit more, and then other songs where they come in at different times. That's when you have a little bit of a hard time, or they all come in at once. So a chorus will have more than 4 people, or it'll be a larger group. It'll be a much larger group. So what you want to do when you're trying to tell just between a smaller group like a quartet, trio, and a duet, and then a chorus, is just see, do you hear a lot of people? Then it's probably a chorus. If you hear a handful of voices, then try to see how many voices you can hear. And I'm only going to have you identify up to 4 people, because after that it starts to get nitty gritty and very, very hard. So you can use that in the next video, next slide. And then as well, there was a bit of struggle telling the difference between a female chorus and a mixed chorus. Sometimes people were labeling the mixed chorus as the female chorus. And so what you can do there is try to listen for those lower voices. So if you hear the la, la, da, dee, da, 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 or things like that, the low voice, you have to try to listen for that, because oftentimes all you hear are the high voices. There will be a lot of high voices. And high voices don't cut through quite as clearly as low voices sometimes, just because of the way that the vibrations are in the air. So I have in the slide, I have a female chorus and a mixed chorus, and I want you to listen to the two of them and see if you can hear those lower voices of the men, because that's the big thing. If you can hear the lower voices of the baritones, the basses, then you're going to know it's a mixed chorus. If you don't hear quite that low voice, you might hear some lower voices like an alto, but that's not quite in the bass clef. So I want you to listen closely for that. And just doing this to practice hearing the differences will help when you're trying to decipher different things in the future. If you go farther in music, try to identify different instruments. It'll help a lot with that, what notes are being played and whatnot. And then outside of music, just having a stronger ear will help for listening for different things. So let's say you're in a crowd and someone's trying to get your attention. Being able to tell the difference between different sounds within that room will be very helpful. If you're doing science experiments and you're trying to listen for when a change happens in an experiment, because sometimes you'll hear things like a boiling and you're waiting for the whistle, a stronger ear will help there. So a stronger ear is just, once again, great in everything you do, especially if you go farther in music. Okay? I will see you all next class, where we'll do some singing. I'll introduce one new song and we'll do a review of another song. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.